Alright, hello guys, and welcome to my video on connecting to your Raspberry Pi over the external internet. So this is the internet that is not your local area network. This is following on a set of videos that shows you how to set up your Raspberry Pi and how to talk to it. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that our Raspberry Pi is up and running. And so I'm going to log in. Make sure everything is good. Alright, cool. So the internet connection I am on right now, like the router that I am currently connected to, is called Pace 530. There's another connection here tethered off of my cell phone called Studley Hungwell. I'm going to use Studley Hungwell to connect to my router on and thus my Raspberry Pi on Pace 530. But before we can do that, what we need to do is set up our router correctly. Everybody's router is different, so your router's system's going to look different from mine. But what you're going to want to do is set up port forwarding. And the way you do that is, well, it depends on your router. On mine, I go into settings. If I go to the firewall section of it, applications, your path to get here may be different from your router, but the idea should be the same. So I'm going to set up for my GrowPi, which is currently connected to the router through wireless, and I'm going to get a server set up. And it's going to be a SSH server. I already have it set up here. So I would just simply hit add and then save. What this SSH server is opening up port 22. So if I went into user defined here, and everybody should be able to do this, and I can add a new user-defined application, I would be able to say like rpi ssh and then port range 2222 add to list, and then I would save that. So what's happening here is we are opening up port 22 on our router, and we're causing all traffic that our router encounters that is asking for connection to port 22 to be forwarded, hence the term port forwarding, to our Raspberry Pi called GrowPi. So when we try to connect to our router using the external IP address of our router, it will then direct traffic through port 22 to the Raspberry Pi. So the next thing you need to do is discover what is your IP address. So if you type in what is my IP address, and your search engine is Google, it will show you what your public IP address is. I'm blurring mine out here for obvious reasons because this is how you connect to me, and how you connect to you will be something similar to this. This IP address is likely dynamic. If you're watching these videos, you probably haven't set up servers before. And by dynamic, I mean tomorrow this IP address could be different. 5 minutes from now, this IP address could be different, which makes connecting through the internet like this not very stable. But at the same time, if you're this is a proof of concept video, it should stay like this long enough for me to demonstrate connecting to it. So now we know what our external IP address is. So now I'm going to switch over to another computer, and on this computer here I am connected to Studley Hungwell, or I'm about to be connected. So let's log into Studley Hungwell. Okay, so here you can see that I am connected to a different network from the Pace 530. It's called Studley Hungwell, and that is my cell phone. So through my Linux here that I'm running, I'm going to connect to my Raspberry Pi through SSH, and the way you go about doing that is you want to SSH into the port that you opened up. So the SSH server that I opened up on my router was port 22. You then want to get access, set it up so that you can get your VNC up and running, so you can view the VNC through the SSH to be able to get the graphical user interface up, and that's what I'm doing here. In my earlier videos, I set up my VNC server to be on 1. That's why I'm using the value 5901 here. If you used a different value, of course that is going to change. You then want to log in as Pi, and you want to log in to the IP address that you found on Google of the system that you want to connect to. So here we go. If I connect like this, at the potato speeds it runs at, it's going to eventually prompt me for my password to get into my Pi, which is still Raspberry. And there we go. I am now inside of my Raspberry Pi using my Studley Hungwell connection. If I flip back to my computer here, you see I'm actually on the Pace 530. So over the internet, I am connecting to my Raspberry Pi. But if you want the graphics user interface, you're going to have to use something other than terminal. So this comes installed with a program called Xtight VNC Viewer, which if I open that, it will prompt me for what server, which is going to be localhost 5901. That's what I specified in this earlier statement here. If I connect to that, it should then prompt me for a password, and my password is raspbear. I set that up when I set up the VNC server earlier. Type that in, hit enter, and here we go. We have loaded up at very low speeds the desktop graphics user interface. Now, if you're on a system that is not as potato slow as mine is, you should be able to talk to your Raspberry Pi a little bit faster. But because I'm on a cell phone in a basement using slow computers like I am right now, this is very slow. But it's proof of concept that you can connect. If you are on a faster internet connection, both at the server end and at the viewer end, you would be able to manipulate the graphics user interface much faster. So this is how you are able to connect to your Raspberry Pi and do things on it over the internet, over an external internet connection. This setup is not secure at all. There are all kinds of people out there who want to ruin your day because that's what they like to do. So this is not a secure setup, and if you want to make sure that you're protected against these evil people in the world who just want to f you around because that's what they enjoy doing, you might want to set up some security measures, which I will go over in another video.